This is one of every single LEGO Star Wars clone that exists. I'm going to show you every figure in this video today.
Lego my Jameso.
I'm going to show you a 360 view of each figure and what set or sets they came in. Please like and subscribe. The first figure in the lineup here is Jango Fett. He is not a clone trooper, but all of the clones were based off of him, so I had to include him in the lineup. This is the set he came in. He's an awesome figure, just really cool. I'm very happy that I actually have him. And he actually had a headpiece here where it's printed so you can reverse the head when the helmet is on, and he came with a hairpiece in the set. Next is the first ever LEGO Clone Trooper. He came out in 2002. He was in the ATT and the gunship set. I love this clone. It is definitely my favorite, and it's just so original. Then we have the Shock Trooper. I'm basing this off of the figure's actual numbers, so that's how they're placed in order. He came in this battle pack, and he is technically then the first figure for this Episode 3 lineup, or the Phase 2 clones. Then we have our Clone Pilot. The Clone Pilot came in 2 sets, the V-Wing and then the ARC 170 Starfighter, 1 with the V-Wing and 3 with this ARC 170 Starfighter. Nice pilot, and definitely probably a lot of them out there. Then here's our first Phase 2 Clone Trooper. He came in multiple sets. There are 2 variations of the turbo tank here, so he came in both of those, and he came in this battle pack here. So those are the 3 sets he was featured in. Up next, we have the first ever Clone Jet Trooper. This figure I think is pretty unique. It's an interesting build because the jetpack here is brick build. Again, it came in both of these versions of the turbo tank, but cool figure. I definitely really enjoyed this as a kid, being able to have a Jet Trooper figure, and it was so different compared to the ones we now see today with the one-piece jetpack. Alright, so this is our Clone Trooper that's the 327th Star Corps. He has the pauldron here, which makes him unique. In LEGO Star Wars, he was Commander Cody. Cool figure, definitely a unique shoulder piece. It was also a shoulder piece featured on Sand Troopers with the Imperials. Overall, though, great figure. And then it's the same figure here without the pauldron that came in the battle pack. Overall, this was a cool set because it featured the turret and speeder bike. This Clone Trooper also came in a LEGO gear, which was this watch. So if you had that watch as a kid, you would get that figure with it. Pretty cool stuff. Next, we have the 442nd Siege Battalion Clone Trooper here. I think this is an awesome figure. I actually didn't have one of these growing up because I never had this set. So when I acquired one a few years back, I was very happy to have this clone. Overall, pretty cool and awesome markings. The 91st Mobile Reconnaissance Clone Trooper here was only featured in this one set. It was a nice set. He's a cool figure, and later down in the lineup, you'll see a newer version of this Clone Trooper with decals on his legs as well. Here we have the first LEGO Scout Trooper, or Kashyyyk Trooper, whichever you refer to him as. He's an awesome figure. It's the sand green color. It's a Bike Scout helmet that we've seen on other Imperial Bike Scout figures. This figure was just always amazing, and I've always really liked it. He came in the 2 turbo tanks that were different variations. Here we have another Clone Shock Trooper. So this one looks very closely identical to the one I showed previously that was in the battle pack. The only difference here is he has white legs, or the white hip piece versus the black hips. He came in the ATAP right here, and there was 2 of them in that set. Now we have our first Clone Pilot that is our Phase 1, but the Clone Wars version. He came in a few sets. He came in the Torrent here. He came in this shuttle. 2 of him also were featured in the ATOT. There it is. That was an amazing set. Here's the clone head that he has. This is what we will now see on multiple figures. Here we have Captain Rex. He is our first ever 501st Legion Clone Trooper. He's a pretty sweet figure, nice decals. His torso is actually just like the regular troopers. He was featured in the ATT and this Comic-Con set, which is very hard to find. And he has a different clone head, so that makes him very unique. It's his helmet and head. Then we have our first Commander Cody. He was featured in the Republic Gunship set. And I like the new things they started doing with these figures as the gear pieces they have. We'll later on see multiple clone troopers with variations of these pieces. Here's the first Phase 1 clone that we see based out of the Clone Wars. And this figure's unique, or his listing is based off of the rangefinder he has. It's a dark bluish gray one. And our next figure is going to be pretty much the same exact figure, but with a black rangefinder. At first, I thought it was based on the placement because the photos show the rangefinder in different spots, but this one is simply a black rangefinder, and he came in the turbo tank set. So even though he is from a few years later, he's marked at a lower number because he's very similar to the previous clone. So then here is our Phase 1 Clone Trooper out of the Clone Wars without any gear on him. This is what a lot of figures have their base set as, and then we'll see multiple figures with added gear that are considered additional clone troopers. He was in 11 sets and one book, so very widely used. And this is the headpiece he has. So this is Commander Fox, awesome trooper. He came with this limited edition set, and there was also, again, another white clone trooper in there. But the decals on him are amazing, same with the gear pieces. Very cool figure. Happy to have him. Mine has a couple dings, but overall, sweet fig. Then, so this is our Clone Trooper Phase 1 with the added gear. He came in the very first version of the Republic Fighter tank. This one is my favorite because of how big the build was. Later on, we're going to see two other versions of this set with new figures. Here's our Clone Gunner. Cool figure. He came in two sets, actually. This Clone Battle Pack, which was an amazing pack that came with, 4 cool Clone Troopers, and he also came in this set as well. And as you can see, that set also came with a pilot clone trooper as well, so those figures were in multiple sets. I always thought this was a clone trooper commander, but as we can see here, it's a clone trooper Phase 1 with these added gear pieces, so the listing just shows the additional parts that are on him. He came in this battle pack. Again, that was a very fun pack because it came with 2 regular clones, him and a gunner, and if you took his gear off, then you could have 3 regular clone troopers, so it was just great for army building. Then here is our Jet Trooper. This was an amazing figure when he came out. The jetpack is amazing. I've seen this in the Star Wars Battlefronts and always wanted one growing up. So when this finally came out, it was a really cool set to have. And it came with 2 of these Jet Troopers. So wonderful figure. So here's our first Senate Commando. There are multiple versions of this figure, or just 2 versions. So even though this one just looks the same, he is actually a different figure because he has a plain head. The plain head one came in this gear pack with Anakin and Ahsoka, and that's why he is considered another figure. So you have to have him on top of a regular one with a clone head to have both variations. Next, we have Captain Jag. He's a cool clone pilot. He came in the ARC 170 Starfighter here, as well as a gear pack that was magnets. So here's the other set he was in. Overall, cool figure. A great helmet design. Has this printed head. We see this printed headpiece used on Rebel pilots. It's used again on this clone trooper here. And this is a regular clone trooper pilot that came with the ARC 170. The set came with one of him and Captain Jag. So if you bought another one of him, then you could have your 3 clones piloting this starfighter. Here is our Phase 2 clone trooper. He looks just like the older ones, but he is slightly different with prints, obviously. And the printing on his mouth on the helmet is dotted instead of one black line. Here's another clone pilot. He has a different headpiece here and different prints on his helmet. He came with Emperor Palpatine's shuttle, and he was the pilot for that. Cool figure. He's also a V-Wing pilot, but we'll see a different variation for the pilot that came with the V-Wing. That's what his headpiece looks like, so it's different than having the orange visor. It's a completed helmet. Here's, again, a clone trooper with added gear pieces, so he's just like the other clone troopers except for the 2 parts on him, and he came in the turbo tank set here. Next, we have the Senate Commando Captain clone. He's a pretty cool figure. He's printed, so he's similar to the other blue ones, but he just has printed markings, and he came with this set. Overall, cool figure, and we'll see another version of him later on. This is our first ARF trooper. Cool figure, very unique, cool helmet design. He came in this battle pack, and the next 2 figures as well came in this same battle pack right there. Here's the next figure in this exact same battle pack. He doesn't have any particular name, so he is a generic clone in a way. So the cool thing about this set is if you had multiple ones of them, every figure works towards army building. It's not one particular figure that is a captain or has a specific name. And then here's our Bomb Squad Trooper. Cool figure, an orange clone. He went well with Commander Cody if I ever put clones together. Here's our second Captain Rex out of 4. We might even be seeing a 5th sometime in 2023. This Rex is the same with prints. The only thing different is he has a rangefinder instead of a visor. And here's the set he came in. The Shadow ARF Trooper. This trooper is amazing. I have one of them. I'm very happy I have one of them. He came in a poly bag that was given away. Unfortunately, when I was younger, I didn't know this existed, so I didn't get this when it was released by LEGO. I had to buy one off of somebody, but I'm happy to have him. He's an awesome figure in the collection. Here we have Commander Wolf. He's a cool figure. He has a unique head that you'll see in a moment. He came in the Republic Frigate set. This was an awesome set. We've seen one of these in red before from the Phantom Menace, but now we officially got one for the clones. Cool figure. Here's his headpiece. As you can see, he does not have one eye and he has a scar through it. Cool figure. The sand blue worked really well. This is our Wolfpack Trooper that came with the same set. He has a jetpack and again, same sand blue legs and torso, but a different helmet and a regular clone head. This is the second Commander Cody in our lineup. He is very closely identical to the Commander Cody that came with the Republic gunship. His torso and helmet are the same. He just has the visor instead of the other armor pieces, and he came in this set here, the Geonosian Starfighter. Next, we see another clone pilot. He looks identical to the previous pilot. The only difference is he has a black head. He was in an advent calendar that was also a Comic-Con set. Here's our ARC Trooper. He was featured in the battle pack there on the right. I always thought he was a cool figure because his features were in cloth. He had a lot of prints and the backpack piece, as well as the rangefinder in dark red. So it was a cool figure to have. And then we get to see another ARF Trooper who came in this same battle pack, but now he's part of this Rancor battalion, so he's dark red. So it was awesome to see that we have three of these, the Shadow, him, and then the regular white and green. Up next, we have our Phase 1 Commander Gree. So this is the first time we see Gree. His headpiece is the same as the rest of the clones, but he has these nice green markings. He came in two sets, that set previously, and then this book. On Bricklink, it's listed as multiple sets and multiple books because the books came in different languages. We are now transitioning into the Phase 1 Clone Troopers from the movies. So these don't look like the Clone Wars Troopers. They look like the ones we'd see in the movies or games. This figure is a sergeant. He has this olive green color, and he came in this battle pack set. And here's the headpiece for this clone. This is the new clone head, and we will now see this on other figures. The next trooper here is our 501st pilot. He was a cool figure. I was happy when they started making 501st figures. He came with the headhunter here, and it was a nice set. It also came with the 501st clone trooper, which we will see in a moment. The next clone here is our Phase 1 clone trooper that is the movie-style clone. He came in 5 sets. It was this spider droid, the slug tank, advent calendar, this planet series set, and the battle pack I showed previously with that olive green clone sergeant. This is where we see our first ever LEGO Star Wars 501st Legion clone trooper. I was so excited when he came out. He has that, Clone Wars look to him or cartoon look. He came in those 2 sets. Great figure. I'm surprised I didn't get more of them at the time, but overall, really cool. Same clone head. And here's Captain Rex. This figure at the time, I was just always in love with the Phase 1 clones, so I cared for them more. When Rex came out like this, I thought he was cool, but I didn't care for him as much, and then over time, as we saw the other 501st Troopers came out, he became more desirable. Great figure, great decals, cloth, gear, so really cool. Here's the first time we see a 212th Attack Battalion clone trooper based in the Clone Wars. We're later on going to see the ones that are movie-style clones. But overall, he was a cool figure. He was this bright orange instead of the orange that we usually see. Don't freak out when you see this figure. I don't know if he's considered a clone or not, but I wanted to include Jack 14 because of his clone helmet and clone gear. I'm not really up on the Yoda Chronicles, haven't seen it, but I guess he is a Sith-based clone that was created by Count Dooku, so I wanted to put him in the lineup. In the same set, though, we see this Special Forces clone trooper. He is considered a clone trooper even though he has this Stormtrooper helmet, even though this might have been taking place during the transition from the Republic to the Empire. He is still labeled as a Special Forces clone trooper, and that is why I think he should be included in the lineup because he is an actual clone, but Jack 14, we can have a controversy on that. Okay, so this is our Clone Trooper Commander, Phase 1, movie-based. He came here with the ATTE. This was an awesome set. It was kind of shocking that it only came with the one Clone Trooper, but he is a pretty sweet clone figure to have, and he has the similar head as the other clones in this style have had before him. Next, we get this awesome Republic gunship set that comes with 2 new clones. The clone pilot here, he looks similar to the Clone Wars pilots, but he is more defined. He has a different yellowing color, so it's a bright light orange instead of a regular yellow, and he looks more realistic, so I really like him. And then we get this red Clone Trooper Captain. It was finally sweet to get one of these. He looks really cool, as you can see. He came in the same gunship, has the same scowl type of a head that is used on the other clones. And overall, they both came in this set, and they're both unique to this set. This clone was amazing when he came out. So this Lieutenant Clone Trooper was released in this polybag. Originally, he came out as an exclusive at some LEGO event. He was selling online for, a real hefty amount, and I was bummed because I always wanted a blue clone like this. But then LEGO decided to release this polybag with a Star Wars purchase on their website, and that's how I got him. Next, we finally get another Clone Scout Trooper from Kashyyyk. This is the second time we've ever seen one of these. The first time was the original Turbo Tank, as you may have seen previously in the video. Overall, cool figure. He came in 3 sets, including this battle pack and the Turbo Tank here, which, that battle pack was really nice. It was great for army building. But yes, cool figure. We finally received a Scout Trooper. And then this figure also came in this battle pack. He came in another set as well. And, cool figure based out of Kashyyyk. So we're starting to see these green clones pop up, which is nice for mocks and other builds. Overall, they're nicely detailed, and they look like very cool, unique soldiers. So now we finally get a 212th Attack Battalion battle pack. So this is the Utapa Troopers. This was an awesome battle pack. It came with the 2 cool figures. We'll see the Airborne Trooper in a moment here. Overall, great figures, great battle pack, wish it still existed. Here's our Airborne Trooper. So as a LEGO clone collector growing up, I always wanted these since we saw them in Revenge of the Sith. When this set finally came out and had them, it was just amazing. Very cool figure. I love the cloth feature. So now we've transitioned to the cloth piece instead of the plastic piece that's no longer going to be used on figures. And here we have the Battle on Seleucami. So we have this Bark Trooper. He's very similar to the one we've seen previously. It's obviously the new and updated figure, new helmet, different printings, and just very cool. So, and again, like I said previously, this one does have the leg printing, so more unique, more detailed, and different color arms. You might be watching this and just feel like, hey, I thought we just saw this figure. You're partially correct. There was one prior to this that looked nearly identical, and when I was doing this lineup, I was shocked. I was like, hey, didn't I just put this figure out? But no, this one is very similar, but he is in this light bluish gray color instead of our blue. So I'll put them side by side. He actually does have a different headpiece. I thought they were similar, but looking further into it, they're different headpieces as well. And as you can see here, different colors. Now we see our Commander Gree in this Phase 2 version, the Kashyyyk camouflage. Great figure. This is the first time we see this metallic helmet on a clone. I like how they used it. He came in these 2 sets. He'll later on come in another version of the set, but it'll be a different figure or variation. Now we see our Shock Troopers. I'm happy that they finally came out with these again for, Phase 2 Troopers with the removable helmet and a head versus the original ones we have, or the second clone you may have seen in the lineup. He was unique to this set, and 2 of them came in the build. Sometimes I wish I had more of them, but oh well. Now we see our Wolfpack Trooper. 2 of him came in this set. This is the only time they released this trooper as a Phase 2 clone. He came with this cannon, which was featured in the Star Wars, the Clone Wars movie. So they finally made that cannon. 2 of them came with it, which is pretty cool. Believe it or not, this is the first and last time we actually see a plain white Phase 2 clone trooper with a removable helmet and a head underneath. We've seen 2 versions of them before with the black head and the helmet, but this is the first time with a removable helmet, and they haven't made one since. So he came in this microfighter pack, and that was it. I think I have 1 or 2 of them, so unfortunately not a huge army of them, but that's fine. Now we see this cool winter clone. He came in this advent calendar, and even though his legs, torso, and head were used on other clone troopers, the hat is what makes him unique, and that's why he's a unique figure. So, pretty cool stuff. Christmas. When these 2 figures came out, I was shocked. This battle pack came out. It kind of, in a way, mimicked the Utapa Troopers battle pack. We have this Airborne Trooper from Geonosis, and the next trooper as well will be a Geonosis type of trooper. These are honestly pretty cool. They would blend in with a nice mock and with that terrain. I think they're cool figures. Here's the second one, just the Phase 2 version. So, unique battle pack, but definitely it was just something strange or unexpected at the time when this set came out. That's at least how I feel, and I don't know if it was that big of a hit. But overall, interesting clones. Cool to have Geonosis ones that, would blend in. Next, we have another clone pilot. He again has this open face helmet, which is pretty cool. So they use this printed head design to give it that visor look. Overall, cool decals on this head. I think it's, another interesting figure. They transitioned back to this light gray, this newer style versus the blue. You guessed it, another clone pilot. So this one looks just as identical as the one I showed previously. The only difference here is his leg printing. So he came in the Microfighter set. That was all he came in, and he looks just like this other clone here, but he has the leg printings on him. That is all. Next, we get another Senate Commando Captain clone figure here. I think he's pretty cool. This battle pack was awesome when it came out. It came with 3 of the regular Senate Commandos and then 1 Captain. His decals and, the mold for his helmet is the same as the other ones. His headpiece is unique. And as you can see here, the prints with the old and new are very similar. But check out the torsos. You can see the difference in Clone Wars versus the newer style. And then this Senate Commando sometimes gets confused with the old one as well because they're very similar. But again, the torso is the big difference here, as well as leg printings and headpiece. But the helmet is just about identical, if not the exact same. And then LEGO finally did it. They put this Lieutenant clone into a set. So he was here in this Hellfire droid set. Honestly, a unique set. I think it was a Target exclusive or some store had it as an exclusive, but I was happy again to see him. The reason he's a different figure is simply his leg printing here. Same head and everything else. So now we transition into these older clones. This is Commander Gregor. This is from Star Wars Rebels. This is Captain Rex's ATTE, and we're going to see 3 troopers that come with it that are clones that are older. So now Captain Rex is here. Again, cool figures. None of them have helmets. They all just have a unique torso and head. They all have plain legs. So Rex and our next figure have the dark bluish gray legs, and Gregor had the dark tan. So here's Commander Wolf. Again, unique torso, unique headpiece, no helmet. Overall pretty cool. As you can see, he still does not have his eye, just like the other Commander Wolf figure. So same person, just years later. Now we see a Clone Trooper Gunner. This is the next time we see this Republic fighter tank. This is a cool set, and I was shocked that they made a recent one, being that this was only a few years back. Cool figure. He only came in this set, and, nice decals, a nice Phase 2 clone. Again, Phase 1 clone looks very similar to the other ones. The only thing really different here is the leg printing. This clone only came in this battle pack, but 2 of them came with it as well as the 2 Jedi. So overall, cool set and a great army building set for clones if you were able to buy multiple. I promise you're not watching the same figure rotate around. Different figures have different variations. So this is a Scout Trooper again from Kashyyyk. He looks very similar to the other one. I'll put them side by side. He came in 2 sets, but the real only difference here is he has dark tan markings. So his legs, torso, and helmet are actually unique to this figure. As you can see here, it's very minor. You can really see it in the legs. You can see it on the backs of their torsos with this dark tan, but even the helmet has dark tan on the newer figure. So definitely different and unique. Now we see another Commander Gree. He looks very similar, and his head, helmet, and torso are all the same as the one I showed previously, but the legs simply now have this dark tan camouflage or markings on them. He came in this set as well, and this set was nearly identical to the previous AT-AP, but there were some different builds on it, including the upper cannon and the figures that came with the set, so the droids changed as well, but overall a very similar set. So why would there be a Clone Trooper Phase 1 from the Clone Wars in 2011 this far in the lineup? It's simply because he had a different head. He actually had an Anakin head. He came with this DS case, and that is why he is later on in this lineup here. He was a Clone Wars clone, but it wasn't caught until that recently. When this set came out, a lot of people like myself that collect LEGO clones were very happy. This is now a 501st Legion Clone Trooper pack with clones we've wanted to see for years. This Jet Trooper was pretty amazing. As you can see, these figures have this new clone head. It's more realistic. It's the darker skin color, and it just has some different printing, obviously, for the face. Then we have our regular 501st Legion Phase 2 Clone Trooper. Awesome to have him. 3 of them came in this set, and both these 2 figures are unique to this set so far. We'll see. Time will tell if they create new figures or reuse those. Now we have Ahsoka's Clone Trooper here, or the 332nd Company Clone Trooper. He's unique to this AAT set. Overall, cool figure. Same torso, legs, and head as the 501st Legion clone, just a different helmet. We finally get another Utapau or Airborne Clone Trooper here. Unfortunately, he came in General Grievous' Starfighter that was $80, so it wasn't practical if you wanted multiple of this clone figure, and it was kind of bummed. It just sucked. Overall, though, great figure. Very similar to the other one. Here they are side by side, so you can see the different markings. I like how they both have the cloth piece. It's in different colors, but great figures, and I just wish it came in a battle pack or something with multiple. So now we see some Phase 1 clones again. Our Clone Trooper Commander Phase 1. This has more of a cartoony look in a way, so it's like, in a way, a mix, I think, between Clone Wars and movie style. He actually comes in 3 sets. First, the UCS gunship, this advent calendar, and this small $15 clone pack. So it's better to have him in a few than just the one. Now we transition into the clones from the Bad Batch. So 5 clones came in this set. This trooper also came in this other new set that recently came out. They have unique pieces, heads, some of them have hair pieces, and they have unique weapons. So if you've ever seen the show, these clones are pretty much troopers that when Execute Order 66 came out, their chips didn't really work and turn them over into, what any clone would be, an actual soldier that, would kill the Jedi. They kind of went on their own way and didn't follow up with those orders. So these are the clones, pretty unique soldiers. I think they're cool, and this set was, a nice build. Maybe I'll have to show that in some video, but I recommend getting this before it goes off the shelf if you want these 5 troopers, because who knows what their prices could go up to over time when this set disappears, being that there's 5 unique clones in the set. Please subscribe if you're enjoying, and I'll post more. This is Clone Arc Trooper Corporal Echo. He has cool decals and prints. He's a darker figure, so some of it was hard to capture because he also has pieces on him that are reflective in a way to light. But overall, I think this is a cool figure and cool to see these darker troopers. The Imperials have a lot of these soldiers, and that's why, seeing them now, they're kind of the only few dark clone troopers we ever get to really see and have as Lego figures. Again, unique headpieces here. And here's the next figure, the last one in this set. I just think he's really cool because he's all black in a way, and it just looks sleek and just a unique, cool clone trooper. Again, we've seen these with the Imperials where they have the dark troopers and so forth. There's so many of them, but with clones, we don't see many of these. And he has this cool targeting piece on his eye. And again, we get another Clone Trooper Phase 1 plain white figure. So we've seen multiple ones of these at this point. I wonder if they'll continue making this one. He currently comes only in this one clone pack, and his torso and legs are unique. Cool figure. Okay, now this is the first time we see purple clone troopers. So this is the same airborne style of clone, the 187th Legion clone troopers that come in our most recent clone fighter tank. This is a cool set. This is the 3rd time we see a Republic fighter tank. It comes with the 1 airborne, or that 1 trooper, and then 2 of these 187th Legion Phase 2 clones. So these, I think, are very cool. I've seen these in action figures or other Star Wars things, but never Lego, so it was interesting to see these come out. And now we're at our final set in the lineup that comes with 3 new clones. Commander Cody from Revenge of the Sith. Great figure, cool parts. He has the visor. He does have a unique head. Very cool prints. And it was just really cool to see this figure finally come out. A lot of us growing up were wondering, will we ever see this figure? And now we have it. So pretty cool figure, pretty cool set. I recommend it if you like clones or want to get into army building. So here is our 212th Attack Battalion Phase 2 Clone Trooper. A few of him come in this ATTE set, which is really nice. Normally these sets come with a few clones. As you saw, the last one they had only came with 1. This one comes with a nice number of clones, which is wonderful. And some people don't like that opening on his head, but I like that you can add a visor or a rangefinder to him. Same with this gunner. Same molding pieces, just different printings, new figure. And these guys all have the same head, but Cody's was the only one that was different. There you have it. This was one of every single type of Lego Star Wars Clone Trooper from 2002 to the end of 2022. So 20 years of clone collecting. I hope you enjoyed this video. This was 96 unique clones and Jango Fett, the original one. Please like the video and subscribe to see more Lego content like this. This has been a Lego My Jameso original film. Thank you for watching.